I've covered quite a bit in the way of Fallout 4 mods. At this point, it's quite literally been thousands, yet all along the way there have been several mods in the Fallout 4 modding scene, several that have a particularly large presence or become very popular that I typically pass up. Part of this just to avoid demonetization, part of it because it's not really my cup of tea, but then again, every once in a while I think it's a good idea to make a dedicated video to visit them. Take a look at the more bizarre or odd side of Fallout 4 mods. And that's what we're doing in this video. We're going to be looking at some mods I typically don't cover. Some of these being of a sleuty nature that you may see on other channels, or some just kind of being strange. I feel like these are a lot more fun to make or even watch, hopefully, because it's unexpected. You don't know exactly what to expect, and for several, the novelty alone makes them an entertaining watch. This series really started with the AnimeRace Nanakochan mod, a mod that wasn't in the typical vein of what we cover on this channel, but was quite literally the most downloaded mod of 2019, amassing 250,000 downloads. So when that came out and I saw it get so popular, I was like, alright, I'm definitely missing something and I definitely need to cover this type of content. Well, to celebrate that, the first one I do want to talk about is AnimeRace style clothes, which is actually going to add in several new clothing items to go along with Nanakochan, such that even several of the items will only work if you're using that other body style. There's a variety of different options with this one, coming from backpacks to headgear to even some face masks, and all of them having several customization options. This actually is coming from the mod author tooun, who as of late is doing some pretty crazy stuff, creating one of the most innovative or interesting weapon mods in a while, and even in the future bringing things like riot shields to Fallout 4, which is just insane. So if you were one of the 250,000 people to use Nanakochan, then this is definitely a good add-on. The quality is definitely there and it fleshes out some of the outfits or adding in little accessories to really bring attention to certain things. Which, speaking of bringing attention to certain things, I feel like one of the mods that best encapsulates the Fallout 4 modding scene just overall is Tactical Combat Swimwear, otherwise known as TCS. What this will do is add in several new bathing suits into Fallout 4. These are both male and female, though I'm sure I know the way most people will be using this one. But for all those various swimsuits, there will be a tactical option, a full set of gear you can have on your character so they are properly ready for war, but in a bathing suit. Oddly enough, this is probably going to be very appealing to many players of Fallout 4, especially many that use some of the previous mods I've covered in this series. So it of course makes no sense in reality, and I'm honestly kind of surprised that it has both a male and a female version, but as far as the armors themselves go, they are extremely well done. They're immensely high quality and actually have a ton of little details that you otherwise may have not noticed. Of course, as you've been seeing in the background, it's also going to feature several customization options, several of which are actually really cool. The gold one in particular is just a real standout and flashy version of this that I think a lot of people will like. This is actually one of the newest mods on this list, just coming out in the past week, but a pretty cool one, but definitely going to be for a particular subset of the audience. But to take a diversion from that kind of mod, we also do have a new Dogmeat Replacer. This is actually a very popular mod category, Dogmeat being one of the most trusted companions in Fallout 4, and naturally people want to make him look a little bit different on subsequent playthroughs. But what is easily the most unique Dogmeat Replacer out there is TubMeat. This will be a replacer for Dogmeat, creating him into a bathtub. And this is a proper replacer. This bathtub actually has legs that will run around with Dogmeat. Like, it is fairly well thought out. Functionally in-game, it is basically the same as Dogmeat. It will attack enemies and do all the other things Dogmeat could do, all the while being significantly more funny. But if all that wasn't enough, this also comes with an add-on that allows you to make other raider dogs also be a bathtub, which certainly makes some of those interactions a lot more interesting. One of those ones that's not for everyone, but I gotta say, I probably got more laughs as I was filming this video and kind of forgot what I was doing, and then I would just have a bathtub sprint by me. But overall, while filming this video, this mod author was actually a bit of a gold mine. He also does make a Nuka Cola replacer for a soy latte. So if you're tired of having Nuka Cola in Fallout 4, you can get the soy latte as an alternative. If you live in California, this is probably a very appealing and honestly lore-friendly mod in some sense. But also he does have these Festive surprise masks. This is one of his more serious ones, and it's basically going to be a port of various Xmas Masks from Grand Theft Auto Online. Basically, these were added to that game as updates, and he ported them into Fallout 4. Many of these are Christmas themed, but several are actually pretty cool and oddly enough would fit in somewhat well into this game. Like, I could definitely see you making use of this with your character. Now we just need an update that'll actually distribute these through the level list, and it really would be a top tier mask mod. But then speaking of top tier mods, next up we do have the Vtaw utility pack. This is actually a tremendously well made mod. What it's going to do is add in a ton of different armor pieces into Fallout 4. Specifically giving you the ability to mix and match many of these armor pieces into interesting outfit combinations. And there's quite a bit here. It adds in over 25 new items overall, and all of these are fully modular. You could use several different tops together, or no top and just pants. Some of the screenshots show that off much better than I could. And although it definitely does have some lewd undertones, especially with some of the combinations, it also just has some pretty cool ones. You can make this into a fully fledged and pretty awesome looking armor for your character, especially with some of the face masks. And all around, it is one of the best outfit packs like this to come out in a long while, although it is female specific, truly giving you several different customizations that will make your characters look different and unique, or even companions. But then we have what is almost always a bizarre aspect of Fallout 4, or really just Fallout modding in general, that is vehicle mods. One mod author that's been a mainstay on this channel, but also making a considerable dent in the world of vehicle mods is M150. And some of his more recent ones are without a doubt some of his best, as we do get a look at things like SuperMarketKart. The incredibly original name will actually give you a cart from like a supermarket to drive around in Fallout 4. I don't know why, but this one in particular I just found so funny. It's very simple. I mean, that is the entirety of the mod, but then separately, one that is, I guess, somewhat lore friendly in a very dark way. We also do have RidingHuman from M150. In a very similar vein, this will add in humans that you can ride in games, specifically being a raider taxi. Oddly enough, I feel like this is likely something that could or even would exist in the Fallout world. The apocalypse definitely takes you to some pretty dark places. Outside of just the regular raider humans, you also do get a synth, which I think actually has one of the coolest designs to it and definitely the most realistic out of the bunch, but then finally a super mutant. All three of these act very similar to many other vehicle mods, especially those by M150, and although not quite as funny as the shopping cart, definitely still is an interesting one. But all in all, that is a deep dive or a look at some of the more bizarre or weird mods out there for Fallout 4. I didn't mean this video in a negative light. I don't think any of the mods I covered in this are bad, it's just strange. They're things I don't cover on this channel specifically. And I think videos like this are fun to highlight some of these lesser covered aspects for me and get an insight as to what else is going on, and hopefully share that with all of you watching. Now, with that being said, I thank you all for watching. If you want to see more in the way of bizarre or odd mods for Fallout 4, I've made 2 other videos like this covering totally different mods, which I will have linked in the description down below. But with that, I hope to see you all next time. Later.